Have you ever noticed how some technology just feels dead? Not broken, but abandoned. Like it's waiting for something else to use it. There's this old Japanese ritual from the early 2000s, back when phone booths were still a part of the city's pulse. They call him Satoru-kun. He's an entity that lives in the static, in the gaps between the calls we actually want to make. To find him, you have to stand in a booth at 2 a.m. It has to be a place that smells of old tobacco and ozone, where the air feels heavy, like it's holding its breath. You drop a coin in a heavy, cold piece of metal, and you dial your own mobile number. It's a simple invitation. You're telling your shadow that it's time to wake up. You chant his name 3 times. Satoru-kun, Satoru-kun, please come to me. The first time I heard about this, I laughed, but then I tried it. The silence that follows the third chant isn't normal. It's a vacuum. The street noise just stops. No cars, no wind. Just the sound of your own blood rushing in your ears. When you hang up that receiver, it feels twice as heavy as when you picked it up. That's the first anchor. He's acknowledged you. After you leave the booth, the game changes. It's no longer about a ritual. It's about a physical presence. My phone didn't just ring a few minutes later, it thrummed. It was a vibration so deep I could feel it in my molars. The screen lit up, and the caller ID was my own number. But the contact photo, it was me, except my face was tilted at an angle that shouldn't be possible. Eyes looking at something just behind the camera. The streetlights above started to hum at a pitch that made my skin crawl. The shadows on the pavement looked thicker, almost fluid, like they were pooling toward my feet. I stood there, watching the accept button glow. The air became thin, like I was standing on a mountain peak in the middle of a city street. I answered it. I expected static, or maybe a prankster's laugh. Instead, I heard my own heartbeat, exactly synchronized with the one in my chest, but amplified, and then a click, the sound of a mechanical rotary dial spinning back to 0. It wasn't a phone call anymore, it was a tracking device. He doesn't run, he doesn't teleport, he just arrives. Every few minutes, your phone rings again. A child's voice, monotone and precise, tells you exactly where he is. I'm at the train station, he says. Then I'm at the corner of your street. It's a mimicry of a human voice, but the cadence is all wrong, like a machine trying to remember what a child sounds like. I started walking faster, but the sound of footsteps followed me. They weren't hitting the pavement, though. It sounded like something heavy being dragged through wet leaves, and the sound was coming from inside my own head. I realized then that my left side had become a dead zone. The light didn't seem to reach the periphery of my left eye. It was just a blur of gray and shadow. The smell of wet earth and stagnant water bloomed out of nowhere, overpowering the scent of the city. And the phone buzzed one last time. I'm at the door. I was standing in the middle of an open park, but I heard the distinct sound of my own front door lock clicking open miles away. He wasn't following me to a place, he was cornering me within my own skin. The air on the back of my neck turned ice cold. It wasn't the cold of a breeze. It was a localized drop in temperature that felt like a physical burn. I could hear it then, not through the phone, but right next to my ear. A wet, rhythmic clicking sound, like a bird's beak snapping, or the gears of an old rotary phone grinding together. I am right behind you, the voice whispered. It wasn't a sound, it was a vibration in my ear canal. Every biological instinct I had was screaming at me to turn around, to see what was standing inches from my shoulder. But the rules are absolute. If you look, he takes you. If you touch him, you disappear. You have one chance. You have to ask your question immediately. My voice felt like it was made of glass. I asked the one thing I needed to know, a secret I'd buried for years. The silence that followed was agonizing, 12 seconds of total auditory vacuum where even my own breath seemed to vanish. Then, the answer came. It wasn't spoken. It was whispered so softly it felt like a needle being driven into my eardrum. It was the truth, and it was more terrifying than the entity itself. The pressure vanished instantly. The streetlights stopped humming, and the air warmed up, but the relief was a lie. I walked to a shop window to check my reflection, and for a split second, I saw it. A distortion in the glass right behind my left shoulder. It's been months now, and the weight hasn't left me. I walk with a slight tilt to the right because my left side always feels heavy, like there's a phantom limb resting there. Every time a public phone rings, my shoulder twitches. I can't look in mirrors for more than a few seconds anymore. I always see that slight blur in the blind spot. You might think you're alone right now, but tell me, did you hear a faint click just a moment ago? Like a phone being hung up? Don't turn around, just keep looking at the screen. He knows you know, and now he's curious about your secrets too.